Hi, I just wanted to do a video on how to enhance your avatar picture however the way you want. Right now, I was working on something like this, and now I'm going to show you how to do one fresh from the start. You can enhance many things. You can enhance the face, chest, shoulders, even the hair, but I'm going to do the basics right now. So right now I'm going to right click this, and also my cursor will turn red whenever I right click something. So I'm going to go to background, right click, layer from background, click OK. And now some people choose to use the magic wand tool as a way to get rid of the green stuff, but I don't do that. So I mean, it's good, but I don't see that. And if you are going to use the magic wand, change your tolerance to 60 and uncheck contiguous, okay? But instead I use the color range selector. So I go to select, go down to color range, and a box will come up like this. Make sure you if you do move your cursor to the picture, the little I don't know what you call it, that little drop thing, it'll come up, and click the color that you don't want to be in the picture, which means click the green out here, and then click OK. Now it'll select all the the green color, and just press delete on your keyboard, and then deselect, right click, deselect. Now this is what your picture will look like as a transparency. Okay, now you have to go down here to the layers box, right click the layer, and click duplicate layer. Now this is where everything starts coming in. Now you go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. You can use either a radius of 2 or radius of 3, and I use 3. Okay, excuse me. Okay, now go to image adjustments, and go to auto levels, and it'll auto level it for you. You can also, if you want to level it for yourself, go to image adjustments levels. Now in this box you put 50, in the last box you put 188. Now it looks weird right now, but you'll see. But right now I'm gonna use the auto levels because I think it looks better. So I'm gonna go back to image adjustments, auto levels. Now it looks a little fuzzy and a little weird, but now you have to mess with the layers. So you gotta change the blending mode for the layer. Instead of using normal, you can use either overlay, soft light, or hard light for the best results. I use overlay because it looks realistic, but then I don't know how to explain it, but I just think it looks better. I mean, soft light looks like the original picture, and hard light looks too, I don't know, but I like to use overlay. So overlay. Now this is a little trick I do. Sometimes I go to filter, blur, or in surface blur. Wait, no, sorry about that. First you gotta merge this down. So merge the top layer down to the bottom layer. So right click the top layer and press merge down. Now you have one layer. You should have one layer. Now go to filter, blur, surface blur. Now sometimes I use surface blur because if you look at the preview, you'll see that the wrinkles, when you do surface blur, your face is smoother. I don't know if you guys will see it in the picture or see the difference on this, but everything is much smoother. You want that. So I don't know if people will notice the difference, but anyways, you do want a realistic look, so you do want to keep those wrinkles if you do notice it. So alright, now on your layer thing, click make new layer or create a new layer. This thing right here. Now, change your color palette to white and black. Now, white is for highlights, black is for shadow, okay? Now, you can use your brush. Now, go to your brush. You can use any type of brush you want as long as you know that it's going to be good for whatever you're using for any part of the body. Now, make sure you do name your layers because sometimes you might get mixed up. Alright, so right now I chose brush size 25 and I'm using white for highlights. Now, I'm doing this for under the eye. And if you don't like the way you If you don't like the way you did it, you can just go up to edit, undo brush tool, and just do it till you get it perfect. And then if you want to do the other, for me, I have to do a smaller brush size because of the eye. So I'm going to take that down to 21 and do that. Wait, no, I don't like that. Let me shrink it down a little bit. Okay. A little bit right there. Okay, that's good. Now you're going to go to filter, blur, and you're going to go to Gaussian glare. And you can mess with this radius setting as much as you want. I'm going to set mine, let's see. I'm going to set mine to that 13. Now it may look a little, it doesn't look, realistic yet, but I'm going to use the blur tool because, you can, let's see, let me zoom in. You can see, because you can see, I'm just blur that out. You don't have to blur it too much. Just make sure it's just enough. And okay, let me zoom out. I'm gonna blur it up a little bit more because it looks like you want it to look smooth on the edges. So I did use the strength of 100%. Sorry, I didn't say that. Let me blur those edges up. Because I don't want it to look like it's on, right on your eye, You want it so it looks, really nice and smooth. Alright. And you can mess with the settings. I can use overlay, but I'm going to leave that to normal. Make sure, okay, now if you are naming your layers, which I do recommend you do, right click the layer options, and I'm going to name this under the eye. I'm going to click OK. Now, you can do as many highlights as you want to do, I'm going to, let me do the forehead. Make sure you go back to your brush tool because my thing is on the blur tool. I keep forgetting to put on the brush tool. So, I'm going to do the forehead, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And, let's see, I'm going to do 11. I think that's good. Okay, and then make sure you name your layers. So right click the layer, and I'm going to name this forehead highlights. Now, alright, now I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to do the shadows on the side. Now, I'm going to make sure you switching. I'm going to use a smaller brush, just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to do some areas right here. And I'm going to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And 11 looks pretty good. Let me see. Now, make sure you do blend it in as good as possible. So I'm going to go to, I think 9 is good. Or 10. 10 is good. Yeah, 10 is pretty good. And I'm going to name that. I'm going to name it side of the head shadow. Now it's really good to name your layers. Okay, now you're going to make a new layer. You don't have to do all of this. You can just experiment with any part you want. Okay. And I'm going to do the cheeks.